Many times in life, we miss out on opportunities and we miss out on improving the quality of our life because we doubt ourselves. The moment we want to do something, we go straight into the negative, thinking about all the bad things that happen. But you have to understand that self doubt is really not there to hurt you, but it's because we don't understand it. That's the reason why we get hurt. That's why when we get heartbroken or things go bad, we always look for closure because we want to understand it. Because understanding, the lack of understanding is what gets you messed up in life. Well, one thing I realize is that everything has an equal and opposite reaction. For up, there's down. For left, there's right. So if you have confidence, if you have ability, if you have charisma and all these things, you're going to have self doubt. It keeps you in check, it keeps you safe. But you can't let these things get too far on either side of the scale. If you get too confident, you get arrogant, you get ignorant. And if you get too far into your self doubt, it pulls you back. So think about it like this. Many people like to drive cars very fast. I mean, fast cars are cool. Not many times in this world are you going to get the opportunity to travel like that unless you're on an airplane, which airplanes are cool too. But I've seen a Bugatti go 304 miles an hour on YouTube. I see F1 cars accelerate like no other. But how good are those brakes? I don't care how fast you can go. I don't care what you can do. How well can you stop? Many football players are extremely fast, but they can't stop on a dime. That's why some of the best route runners are not the fastest, because they can accelerate at a good pace, but they can stop, break that route, and that cornerback is still moving. And that separation you get, that's what opens you up. That's what gets you the ball more. That's what gives you more opportunities. So let's say you was driving a Bugatti and you went the fastest in the world. They're like, oh my God, he's driving 320 miles an hour, but he has no brakes. How would you like that? That don't sound safe, huh? That's why you're going to understand everything we have is meant to help us, but these same things can hurt us. Too much water can kill you. Too much oxygen can kill you. But self-doubt is here to keep things in check. Because I feel good about myself. I feel like I can fly. I feel like I can levitate. But I'm not about to go step off the Empire State Building just because. There's a thing called reality. And even though, the mind has the ability to break reality, and even though there's phenomenons that you just can't explain, that self-doubt within us helps us not become a statistic. You know what I'm saying? But apart from that, you really have to understand that believing in yourself is truly a superpower. When you believe in yourself and when you do things for yourself, it's like the ultimate cheat code. Because the more you do something for yourself, the more you love yourself, the more you believe in yourself, guess what it's going to do? It's going to make the people around you take notice, and they're going to follow behind. When you see a person that loves himself, not in an arrogant way like we talked about, it has to be balanced. But when you see somebody who loves themselves and they take care of themselves, or let's put it into this perspective. If a girl sees a dude able to take care of himself, his skin is clear, he got his bills paid, he got his own place, he got all this taken care of, she like, dang, well, if he can take care of himself, then he could take care of me. You know what I'm saying? And it makes her more drawn to take care of him, makes her more drawn to be attracted to him. And then when you working for yourself and you're doing things for yourself, it makes people want to be a part of that. It's just like when you see somebody bumming and they don't want to do nothing for themselves, but they always beg for help. It's like, man, I don't want to help you. You don't even want to help yourself. You know what I'm saying? But when you see that person killing it every day, you're like, bro, I want to help this dude. Like I remember I was working with this dude. I mean, he end up becoming real good friends. But the dude would work like no other. And just seeing that alone would not allow me to sit there and not do that. Cause it's like, dang, I can't let him do this, man. He putting in too much effort. So the same things goes with the doubt and stuff like that. But you really have to understand where your doubt comes from. Most of it is the lack of being familiar with something. You haven't tried it enough. That's why you doubt yourself. You haven't approached enough people. You haven't been in enough relationships. You haven't done a certain thing enough. So that's why you doubt yourself. Because professional athletes, they don't doubt themselves because they practice hours and months and years at a time to where these moves that they create that look so effortless are really hard, but it's become muscle memory. All these martial artists and these boxers and these fighters and these just athletes in general, the singers, whoever, they practice all these things so much that they become second nature. That's why they may get nervous and they may get the jitters, but they are confident in their abilities. I remember when I was playing football, and I was pretty skilled, but one thing I did not like was catching routes that in breaking routes, or breaking routes that made you run back to the ball. A hitch is when you run forward, you stop on the dime, and you like looking at the quarterback to throw it. I hated those because I had a cousin who threw the ball like a damn BB, and I remember one time I tried to catch the ball, it hit me in the face, so it kind of gave me PTSD, not gonna lie. So what I would do when we would be in practice, when we would be in games, I would run my hitch a step slow because I doubted my ability to catch those. I could catch the diving passes, I could do it all. But it was just that running back to the quarterback and getting that bullet thrown at me, I was terrified of it. So what did I do? I said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I feel like I feel like a female dog. So let me go and practice this. So I started, I just run at somebody, they'll throw it to me. Run at somebody, throw it to me. Then I started, doing the routes on there. Run my hitch, run back to the quarterback, and run through the ball. Not stopping and freezing up, running through the ball, catching it, because a hitch is one of the most effective routes there is, and it sets you up for some big opportunities. So I kept doing that to the point where the hitch became one of my favorite routes. For one, it's almost always open if you run it right, and then it sets you up for other things. Let's say you run and you catch a ball 30 yards down the field, right? You run straight, run a fade, run a streak, whatever you want to call it, 9 route. And then they call hitches, right? You outside release, you giving it your all. You running as fast as you can. And this defensive back or this defender is running after you, and then all at once, you stop on a dime. He's still running that way. And even if he stops with you, you have just enough time to catch that ball, reverse out, put a move on him, and take it there. And then you also can set up with the hitch and go. That's when you do the outside release or in release, whatever. You break it down like a hitch. When the cornerback bites on it, by the time he bites on it, you already reversing out and you going up the field. But it came from me practicing and being more confident in what I was doing, because I became more fulfilled. Damn. I became more familiar with it. Just like I've mentioned this before, I was afraid, terrified to play guitar in front of people. I always doubted myself. Oh, I'm going to mess up. Oh, no. Relax. Practice more, and then slowly start to work around and be around people doing the things that you need to do, and you'll do it. Just a few days ago, I was chilling with my homeboy, and he had one of his friends come over, a girl, and she played guitar when she used to stay in California. She lives in Louisiana now, going to school, and she was like, whose guitar is this? I was like, it's mine. She was like, would you play it? I was like, yeah. And I didn't get nervous or anything. I just sat there on the couch, just playing, had my little nephew, a little dog there, just relaxing. He was whining and stuff. And you just feel no pressure when you practice things and you become more familiar with these things. But one thing about self-doubt, one thing about just improvement in general, man, it's a battle. It's truly a battle. But you can't really look at it as a battle for a long period of time. It's going to be a battle. And I'm going to explain this too, and I think y'all going to catch my drift. But conquering yourself is the most glorious battle you will ever participate in. The most formidable opponent, the craziest person you can ever battle, the strongest person is you. You have to battle that person. You have to conquer that person, and it will be a bloody battle. But you battle for the right to call your worst enemy, your biggest opponent, your best friend. And when you finish that battle and you do what you have to do to overcome that, that's when you be kind to yourself. And you can be kind to yourself. I'm not saying be a butthole to yourself and slash your tires and punch yourself in the face anymore to conquer you. No. I'm just saying, you if you know, when you're going through a journey, it's not easy, so you have to go through that. But you are working, to get to the point to where you can be nice to yourself and you can be calm to yourself. Because if you always look at life as a fight and you always look at improvement within yourself as a fight, you are going to be the opponent always. It may be a new fight every day, but you are still the opposition. You never want to live a life where your biggest enemy for the rest of your life rests between your two ears. These are your two ears. That's in between them. You don't want to live a life like that because you won't have any peace. You want to get to the point where you are so confident in yourself where you begin to doubt yourself, and that little voice in the head like, bro, are you stupid? You're literally yourself. Like, look at me. Why would I doubt me? I've practiced this 1,000 times. I'm tripping. And you're like, yeah, I am tripping. And then you get to it. But I will leave you with this. One of the reasons why we doubt ourselves, one of the reasons why we get so caught up in these things is because we spend way too much time here. This thing does not need us, okay? Our minds are one of the most complex things to ever grace this existence. They don't need us, right? Now, I am speaking through my mind. I am me. I'm actually not this flesh, but y'all catch my drift. But our minds are so complex. We have to befriend them. But you can't spend too much time in it because you will get lost. I've mentioned this before in my video about procrastination, and the same thing applies with self-doubt. The reason why you keep doubting yourself is because you spend too much time in your head and not enough in this physical realm. We are here to experience, right? We collect the data in here, but we have to do the experience in here. We have experience in here too. We're not talking about that. For example, you set your alarm in the morning, earlier than usual. The alarm goes off. Oh man, I gotta get up and I gotta clean my room, and then I gotta do this and I gotta do that, and dreadful activity after dreadful activity, and right? All that time you spent in your head, you didn't do nothing yet. You have already gave yourself a dreadful day. You've already ruined your day in the first 15 seconds because you're doing too much of this. Versus the person, the alarm goes off, they just jump straight up. And before those bad thoughts rolling in, they already outside getting some sunlight, or they didn't wash their face, they didn't brush their teeth, and they got their routine going. Just like when you come inside and you see those dishes in the sink, you're like, man, all those dishes. And then we had spaghetti. Man, I don't want spaghetti under my nails. And man, I don't want to reach all in that water and do that. And man, I still got to do home. Because it's a person that comes in, it's like, all right, there's something I need to do. Let me go ahead and do it. Less time thinking. The more you think about something, the harder it gets. Remember the time when you wanted to approach that person, or you had to go present something in the class, and while everybody participating, you're just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and it makes it hard. But it was that one kid, maybe you, because I did it a lot of times. I would be the first one to present. For one, everybody not expecting nothing because you're the first one, so you kind of get the leeway. Everybody else, you know what I'm saying? They don't really expect you to be the greatest because you're just first. Go ahead and get me out the way. But imagine the pressure it takes off of you when you go first rather than last. Imagine if you were standing in an execution line, 100 people got executed, and you were the last one. Imagine the energy that creeps up on you. 1, 2, 3, 65, 75, 85, 95, and you just sitting there trembling. But what if you're number one? It's like, damn. Now you rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? So oh God. Instead of spending so much time in your head, take action and get your hands dirty. Action is the way, man. You gotta take action. It's just that simple. So, I hope my rambling, my conversation about self-doubt and understanding the way the mind works and how thinking too much can be an absolute trap. But don't think for a moment that you should just do and never think, because that is stupid. You understand what I'm saying? As I mentioned before, there's balance in all these things, man. So I hope you're able to find balance. I hope you're able to become more familiar with the things that you doubt yourself about. And I hope you're able to put yourself in these situations. Ain't no hope, you will. You are going to put yourself in these situations that you're uncomfortable with. And you are going to develop a confidence like no other. A bulletproof belief in yourself, because you constantly put the fire under your feet to where you become a rotisserie chicken. And you serving out wings and legs and breast and all the delectable pieces that a bird has to offer. But yeah, man, stop doubting yourself. All right. Just stop doubting yourself. I love you, man. Appreciate you for all the love, all the support, all the belief in me. Because when y'all believe in me, it makes me believe in me more. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe in you. I love you. I'm proud of you. And take care of yourself and your mental and your physical and your spiritual. And wash your sheets.